our national debt is reaching a crisis level. Every American man, woman, boy, and girl, right now, their share of the debt is over $43,000. Every taxpayer owes more than $120,000. That's just our part of the national debt. But I'm sure you did not get out of bed this morning so I can give you a lesson in economics, because that is far from my field. But I am an expert in spiritual economics. I know biblical economics 101, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Because the Bible is very clear. Every human being that's ever born, except one, was born with a huge debt around their neck. And it's not $43,000, it's not $120,000, it is indescribable. When each one of my beautiful grandchildren were born, they were born written on their foreheads, owes an eternal debt that can never be repaid by them. If each one of my wonderful grandchildren would work hard, doing good things from the moment they're born, for the rest of their lives, they could never pay that spiritual debt. And that debt is inherited, just as the debt we've inherited in our country because of somebody's decision. And we inherited this debt because of Adam and Eve's decision. It became our debt. It's become part of who we are. We're born with it. Making $10,000 a year and owing $1 million, I mean, I can work for the rest of my life and I would not even make a dent, right? Unless what? You know, in kind of this hypothetical example I'm giving, the word unless is so beautiful. It really is. It's a great word. It at least gives me hope. Unless, can you say it with me? Unless somebody who's far richer than me sells their assets and pay my debt. Now that's biblical economics 101. The Bible said each one of us are born with that debt of sin. And the price tag for that debt of sin by which we are born is eternal judgment. There is no way out. There is no way of paying it back. There is no way of borrowing from someone to pay back the debt. There is no amount of hard work, good work, ingenuity that can take care of that debt. I think it was Martin Luther, the great reformer, who can always put things in an amazing way. He said, if hard work can get people to heaven, then horses and donkeys will be at the front of the line. But you know, if you read anything about England in the 1700s, if you read any of Dickens' books, you'll read about this debtors' prisons, that people who owed money and could not pay go to that prison. It was a hopeless condition. It was desperate situation. And many of the people who ended up in these debtors' prisons, they lived and they died in those prisons.